Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. This is a little bit of a preview, if you will, of Zangief in Street Fighter 6. So I was very fortunate enough to go to the Capcom offices in San Francisco to play an early build of the game, and I got a little bit of time to mess around with some of the characters. And when I mean a little bit of time, I mean a little bit of time. It was not much. So don't expect a full guide here. Once again, this will be a preview. I want to give you an idea of what Zangief is capable of going into the launch of Street Fighter 6. That said, if you have not checked out the original video, I highly suggest you do. I'll have that linked for you at the end of this video if you want, as I go over a lot of key gameplay details of Street Fighter 6. But that said, now let's talk about the video we're in, Zangief. And of course, if we're talking Zangief, let's just cut to the chase. Let's talk some grabs right out of the gate, because that's the main event. So, spinning pile driver, it's the main event, right? 5 frame startup, very quick. Light does 25%, medium does 29%, and the heavy version does friggin' 33%. And of course, the EX being the X does just a little bit more, we'll talk about in a second here, does 34%. Now, what makes this really wild is the damage. Once again, the light does 25%, right? Say we rewind the clock back to Street Fighter 4. Zangief's light in Street Fighter 4 is 18%, the medium is a decent 200, and the heavy is 25%, 250, right? So Zangief's light in Street Fighter 6 does as much as Zangief's heavy in Street Fighter 4. And Street Fighter 5, forget it. Like, the light version is 200, the medium version is 210, and the heavy version is an almighty 220. So Zangief's light pile driver in Street Fighter 6 does more damage than any version of his pile driver in Street Fighter 5. And once again, that's just the light. We got the medium and the heavy and the EX to worry about too. So Zangief's damage potential has not been this high off a grab in decades. This is more closer to, like, say, Potemkin from Guilty Gear compared to classic Zangief. Going in well into the 30% means he can kill you in 2 heavy pile drivers and 1 EX pile driver in this game. 3 grabs and you're done, potentially. So yes, the grab game is very real. Also, speaking on the EX, I want to show you some of the ranges here. So from this range, a decent amount away, heavy grab easily whiffs. However, EX grab connects from that far away and dealing its 34% damage. So you can grab from a good long whiles away, not the least of which, hey, running bear grab, it's back. And up close, 28 frames, not bad. The closer you are, the less travel time, meaning easier to catch people. You can definitely catch people sleeping, which is certainly the point. And by the way, both the regular and EX versions of the move have super armor. So you can blow past a Hadouken, a Sonic Boom, say a Dalsum very stretchy limb, and run on through to the other side and dunk them on their head. It's going to be pretty handy. And also, double suplex from the older games return. So this is running bear grab done up close. And as you can see, the animation is very different than a regular pile driver. Big, just smash you on your head. So it is slower, 10 frames versus the spinning pile drivers, 5 frames. So what do you get here? The damage is good, although it's just slightly less than the spinning pile driver. The main thing is you are much closer to the enemy than at the end of the spinning pile driver. A lot of people think there's no Oki after pile drivers. That's totally not correct. You are like plus 28, plus 29, depending on the distance, depending on the move. Just you're further out. So you have to drive rush in with, like, say, stand medium punch with the range. Since you're a fair bit closer on double suplex, you might not need the drive rush as much. Or perhaps you can just drive rush with a much bigger button because you don't need to rely on the range anymore. So little bit on the startup, little bit on the damage you're giving up, but you're just much closer to the enemy, so your opportunities to follow up should be better. Once again, I had very limited time, so I couldn't math out and lab out all the particulars, but that should be enough to get you started. Now, here's just a quick look at a bunch of the normals. About what you would expect. The chops, they go into themselves even if you whiff, which I find very funny. Those are just medium punch. Nothing fancy there. Stuff like stand heavy kick is one of his few plus on block moves. That's very handy to know. The headbutt does not beat fireballs anymore, sadly, but it is still wildly plus on block, so don't worry about that. Now, to note on the chops, so we've seen a lot of the chops in the trailers, they do not self-combo. The first hit does not combo into the second hit unless there's advantage frames, like say, off the back of a Drive Rush. Drive Rush always gives +4 frames of advantage to whatever hit you're doing, and that gives enough frame advantage for hit 1 to connect into hit 2. So that's the kind of secret of the move. Hit 2 and 3, they self-combo into each other, that's fine, but you need frame advantage some way, somehow for hit 1 to connect into hit 2. Since it's quick and it has a lot of range, this is definitely the move they want you to do off a Drive Rush, and also it's very easy to single hit confirm, so if you Drive Rush and see the first hit connect, then you can very easily follow up with hits 2 and 3, so I think that's the whole plan of the move. Other notable normals here, Zangief's Stand Heavy Punch is chargeable like Street Fighter V, and if you charge it, it does have armor, and as you can see right there, on Punish Counter, it sends the opponent flying. Just absolutely devastates him. So will probably be a workhorse normal, and also the charge version is plus on block. Plus frames are very rare in Street Fighter 6 compared to like every other Street Fighter, so it'll be very valuable. To note some of the command normals, so back heavy kick is the big spinning heel kick, and it's good, it's still an overhead, but it's very negative. I know in the trailers we saw the cool, overhead into the bounce and all that into combos, but it's apparently -12 on block and it leaves you directly beside the enemy, so maybe be a little sparing in using the move. Other command normals here, like a down forward and medium punch, it's like Kane's thrust in WWF, basically. It's special cancelable, that's good, but I didn't find too much of a use for it early on, versus, say, forward medium kick, the old knee. And it's good range, it can be quite plus if you space it correctly, but I know what you're asking is, can you do the thing, empty knee into super, the 720, and of course you can. The Zangief special for when you don't really want to earn it, empty knee into 720 is still very much a thing. Headbutt still headbutt, easy combos on hit, and it's +4 on block, so yeah, pretty handy. The command dropkick's really cool actually, it very easily crushes lows and creates this kind of slide out state where if you touch the wall you bounce, and you get a very easy combo follow-up. This isn't optimal by any stretch, but just to show the idea. So this move particularly, if you're playing against someone who fishes with like a lot of lows, like say Ryu going for crouch medium kick into fireball over and over, if their low is their main way to engage in neutral, this move will absolutely destroy them. So use and abuse for sure. Jumping headbutt command normal does combo into EX air pile driver, so that's always an option. And now just talking some lariat stuff. So lariat itself, projectile invincible after the first few frames, and you have drift capabilities, you can move forward or backwards like you would expect. And the EX version is just basically much faster, less overall time, better drift, and it's projectile invincible on frame 1, so it might get you out of some fireball setups that the regular lariat could not. And since you have less overall time of you doing the lariat, it's safer to use almost like double lariat in Super Turbo against certain fireballs like, say, Guile Sonic Booms, if you want to spend the meter anyways. And with faster startup and very appreciable damage, it's pretty good for combos as EX Lariat, and we showcased a couple examples of that earlier on with the headbutts. EX Lariat, very welcome move. And on Super Talk, the level 1 super, the anti-air, it's full invincible startup, so it'll be fine for jumps and all that kind of stuff. The interesting thing to me is the level 2 super. So this what was his V trigger in Street Fighter V. And yes, it's very good against projectiles for sure, as long as you're on the ball. Just to give an idea here, that's respectable enough range, right? But you can actually get people from very far away. So in our next example here, look at the distance I catch DJ from. Isn't that almost unfair? Like, I would say I'm like 85% of the screen away from DJ when I start my super. So if you're scared to throw a fireball with Zangief for 2 meters at 85% of the screen away, because he might react on you, that's where it's gonna get rough. Zangief with 2 bars stocked, fireballs are always gonna be a problem, but you're gonna have to put some respect on his name here for sure, because the jackhammer is coming for you. And for now, that's about all I got for you. Once again, while I did get to go into training mode with the character, I had very limited amount of time, and I did want to check out multiple characters, but hopefully this is enough to give you a taste, an idea of what Zangief is capable of in Street Fighter 6 and his true power. The command grab has never been scarier in Street Fighter than it has been now in Street Fighter 6, it looks like, and Zangief will be leading the way of the Grappler Nation. I got some more character breakdown videos for you coming over the next few days, so look forward to those. And otherwise, well, I guess we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching, hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Street Fighter.